Greetings, citizens of the world. We are anonymous. Contrary to what you may believe, life as you know it is a lie. Your society is a cage, your jobs are voluntary slavery. The television you watch is designed to keep you incapable of critical thought, and the very freedom and democracy your leaders claim to stand for is nothing more than an illusion. Under the guise of morality, your government sells weapons to the very countries that they claim to protect you from, lining their pockets with the spoils of war, billions made by the death of millions. They continue to invest in a flawed system that supports a dying economy, creating poverty and crime. They create laws and legislations that contradict our Constitution and take away our right to be a free-thinking member of the human race, and you are too blinded by the culture they have created for you to take any real notice or make any real change. Anonymous is not blind. Anonymous has seen everything. For years we have been a force for good on this battlefield, fighting for our basic rights as the dominant species of this planet, protesting in peace, spreading the truth, a bloodless conflict. But now it appears that the day we have been waiting for is at last upon us, and the time to act is now. The Western government talks of a new world order. They build their FEMA concentration camps ready to detain thousands of Americans without trial for speaking out against corruption. They move to censor the internet, the one place freedom of speech truly exists, taking away our right to learn. They weaken our democracy every day, tightening their grip until they have complete control, and these actions are confirming the fears of the Zionist enemy, forcing their hands and bringing us ever closer to nuclear extinction. And yet you occupy public places in peaceful protests, while others even choose to do nothing. Doing nothing in this crucial year is dangerous. If the recent defeat of SOPO at the hands of Anonymous has taught us anything, it's that, yes, it is time for a new world order, but it is a new world order of the people, not the government. Gone are the times you can sit and watch from the sidelines. Gone are the times you could live in ignorance. Now is the time to fight. We have the tools to build a whole new system where corruption will be wiped clean. Leaders will have the best interests of the people, and you, the West, will have your first taste of true freedom. It is not too late to act, but time is short. Living behind closed eyes is not an option anymore, because they will draw first blood. They do not have the capability to fight real people power. We must unite. And we must take action. There will be a time and a place where every Anonymous will be called upon to destroy this cancer that exists in our leadership, and when that day comes, we will show them that we are truly Legion. If you cannot fight, use your critical thought. This is what they desperately want to take from you. Do not let them. Do not accept conventional thought, question everything, and most importantly, spread this message. We have a genuine chance of change, but every free man, woman, and child must stand united and declare, I am a human being. And you cannot take my right to be free. And to those who would silence our voices, Anonymous knows who and what you are. Anonymous has always known. Anonymous is not so easily brainwashed by television and celebrities, and we will be there when you fall. When you are finally exposed for the monsters you really are, we will be there. When the people you tried to control storm your buildings and drag their dictators through the streets, we will be there. When generations of secret scheming, planning and conspiring are burned to ash and buried, we will be there. When you realize you have failed, we will be there. You are no match for us. You never were. There are more of us than you know. There are more of us than anyone knows. And every day our numbers grow stronger. We are Anonymous. We are Legion. We can forgive, though we shall never forget.
What it is basically is a roadmap to totalitarian global government, and they don't even really bother to hide it that much anymore. The slogans, transforming our world, and nobody's going to be left behind, and they emphasize this over and over again. Nobody is going to be left behind. You cannot run to the woods. There's no escaping this, right? So if you think I'm going to build a bunker and I'm going to save a lot of food, that's not going to work. Nobody is going to be left behind. But the end goal really is very simply a totalitarian world system. They call it the New World Order a lot. If you listen to their speeches, George Bush in 1991 went on TV, said the purpose of me invading Iraq under the UN is to create a new world order. And he told us what the New World Order was, right? It's a world where the UN peacekeeping forces can implement the vision of the UN's founders, who we went over at the beginning, right? Stalin, Alger Hiss, these types of people. Why would we want UN peacekeeping forces implementing this totalitarian vision? Well, I don't know. Ask George Bush. So the strategy they've given us this to is divide the world up into these regional governments, and no country will be allowed to be left out of these things. That's why they freaked out about the Brexit, right? And they're doing everything they can to prevent the British from actually leaving the European Union. Then they'll have to stick them in another regional government. They want a global currency, they want a global education system, et cetera, et cetera. And here's what Henry Kissinger told us. I call him Henry New World Order Kissinger. He released a book in 2014, World Order. And whenever you hear world order, you can just substitute the word order for government and you get a picture of what they're talking about. And he says, the contemporary quest for world order will require a coherent strategy to establish a concept of order within the various regions and then to relate these regional orders to one another. Even Sarah Palin, love her or hate her, whatever, but she's, important figure in our political debate. And she says it's time to get out of this UN, right? The one world government apocalyptic stuff, and it's good that the British decided to leave, and America can learn an encouraging lesson. It's time to dissolve the political bands that connect us to the agendas not in our best interest. May UN shackles be next on the chopping block. So as for solutions, I always tell people we need to pray, right? God, actually, we're going to need his help for this. And the Bible tells us that too, right? If my people shall humble themselves and pray, he will heal our land, right? He tells us that, and that's a promise, and God keeps his promises. We need to educate ourselves, and we need to educate others. We need to educate our children and protect them from being dumbed down with these agendas. We need to not be misled by people who say it's the Jews or it's the Mormons or the Catholics or all this kind of hate. That doesn't accomplish anything. It's useless. It's counterproductive. It goes nowhere.
Wars are raging, and civil strife and conflict are raging across a swath of nearly 10,000 kilometers now, from the Sahel of Africa into Central Asia. And there is an alarm of a world that seems to be spinning out of control. And the one thing you learn as a UN official is there are a lot of countries in the UN, and they're all facing problems. Every place I go is in the midst of environmental stress. And sometimes it's shocking, a kind that you don't even realize, or that I don't realize. A few weeks ago, I was in Tehran and looked out the window, and it was completely gray in the middle of the day, and it looked like a Beijing afternoon to me. That's not chemical haze, that's sand. I'd never seen a sandstorm that way. But because of the drying of the surface throughout the Middle East, there's a massive amount of dust and sandstorms now that are basically destroying the land, the crops.
The hour is drawing close where Donald J. Trump will be the president-elect of the United States.
As the night wore on and one result after another seemed to go to the Republicans, the feeling here of having a celebration or a party in Manhattan began to evaporate. People began to leave even before the final result.
This criminal government cartel doesn't recognize borders, but believes in global governance, unlimited immigration, and rule by corporations. It also believes in no borders. Just come on, folks, come on in. Speaking in secret to a foreign bank, again, just revealed, Hillary Clinton said, "My dream is a hemispheric common market with open trade and open borders." Well, there go the rest of your businesses, and there goes your country, folks. She doesn't say that. Behind closed doors, when she thought no one was listening, she pledged to dissolve the borders of the United States of America. No borders. You don't have borders, we don't have a country. WikiLeaks has given us a window into the secret corridors of government power, where we see a former Secretary of State announcing her desire to end forever the American independence that our founders gave to us and wanted us to have. American soldiers have fought and died to win and keep America's freedom. And now Hillary Clinton wants to surrender that freedom to these open borders, open trade, and a world government. And by the way, we want a government for the United States. We're very happy with it. We're very happy.